Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Birminology on Lettermen Row. I am Jeremy Birmingham, your host, joined today by former Ohio State defensive coordinator, current Boston College head coach, Jeff Hafley. Coach, thank you. I know that it is a wild time right now for everyone in college football, especially someone in your position. How nuts have these last 6 months been for you? A guy taking your first head coaching job, and this is the climate that you're having to do it in.
Yeah, I think nuts might be a good word for it, but it's been, it's been good. We got here, we got off and running, and things were looking great. The team was great. Everybody was working hard, and, suddenly we got sent home. And, it's been challenging. You learn a lot of things about yourself, and you learn a lot of things about your team, and you just got to do the best you can. And that's what we've tried to do.
How do you learn about your team when you have two practices or however many you guys had there in Chestnut Hill? Like, how do you learn about your team when you don't know them coming from a year ago to now? And how important has it been just for the continuity of your staff, to the guys that you trust and know, to be able to really evaluate what you have there on your team?
Yeah, with the limited spring practice and really the limited time we had around them, we've just had to be creative, time wisely. We're in constant communication on Zooms. We're constantly on the phone. We're just trying to be there for them, make sure they're healthy, their families are healthy. And, it's easy with all the capabilities we have. For example, this morning I could pop into the running back room and joke with them and see how they're doing. And I could pop into the DB room, and I'm going to have a team meeting here as soon as I get off with you. And just constantly staying in touch and making it more than just about football, getting to know them, laughing with them, and again, just checking on them to make sure they're doing okay. The key for our staff is, you're right. I've known a lot of these guys for a long time, and I have a lot of trust, especially, in the two coordinators. I've known them both for a long time, and they're two great people and really good football coaches. So that's helped me out a lot.
For you on the recruiting show, Jeff, I talk recruiting, and that's what this show's about ultimately. How is it that you're finding that transition from being a defensive coordinator in the Big Ten to now, at a program like Ohio State, firmly established, to now having to sell your own vision? Maybe sell is the wrong word. I don't know. To promote your own vision. And how easy is it, or how hard has it been to get the buy-in that you have been looking for?
Surprisingly, it hasn't been as hard as, one would imagine. I think the key for us is that the BC brand, it's a national brand. And what do I mean by that? The school carries such a strong weight academically across the entire country. To give you an example, I think, the fourth state with the greatest population in BC is California. So when you go around and when you go into these schools, it's, BC is a known brand. And now it's our job to show that everywhere that we can. And we're going to. Because there's great football players out there that value a great education in a great city. And then we have, the religious element, which is huge for me and for us. And that's important to a lot of people, and it's exciting. And being on the road for the short amount of time that we could, it was really great to see. And our staff was fired up. I was fired up. And, even this pandemic, we didn't have anybody visit because we were the early spring break. So while everybody was getting those visits, we had nobody up. We had no junior visits since I've been here, because I got here. And with how hard the staff has worked, we've done okay for ourselves right now. And it's just a sign to show what we really can do. And I'm excited about it.
It's sort of a tendency in the past, handful of years when coordinators leave. We've seen it with Tom Herman at Texas, and Chris Ash when he went to Rutgers, and Greg Schiano at Rutgers. There's this tendency for people to pick and cherry pick handfuls and parts of the Ohio State program that they want to emulate back in their program. Understandably, Ohio State is successful and does a lot of things very well. How hard is it to balance your own ideas and your own vision with what works elsewhere, and but to do that without feeling like you're, I don't know, a copycat? Is that the right word?
Yeah, and that's a really good question. It's very valid. I think the key for me is, I was at Ohio State for one season, right? So, I think the world of Ryan Day. I think he's one of the greatest people in the whole entire world, and I think he's an awesome football coach. And what I learned from Coach Mick and that strength staff, I mean, that guy's as good as there is at any level. And I mean that. And that's why I hired Coach Matus, because that is one phase that I do want to emulate. And I'm not afraid to say that to anybody, because if you look at that culture and what they created, yeah, you'd be crazy not to want that. I mean, that's as good as it gets. And I mean that. But looking from all the other standpoints, I've been around a lot of really good head coaches at a lot of really good places. So I've been fortunate enough over the years to take what I like from each coach I've been around, take what I don't like, and formulate my own opinion. But there's certain things that I learned in that year that I will 100% take with me. And again, a lot of that has to do with what Coach Mick and those guys do in the weight room.
It's been 6 months since the end of the 2019 season. You were in a different position than other coaches on the Ohio State staff because you had, already made the decision to be moving on to take the job at BC. How long did it take you to get over the Clemson game?
I'm still not over it. I actually watched, I try to watch that film a lot right now just to get my thoughts back and to dive into football because we're getting closer. And I actually watched a lot of that game yesterday. I don't know if you will ever totally get over that game. I think Coach Day would say the same thing. It was a tough one. And, do I think about it all the time? No. But when I turn it on and I start watching it again, I get the same emotions and the same feelings. And, I'll use that to continue to motivate myself to get better and do better.
Most coaches, and I'm sure you're the same way, say that you learn a lot more from the losses than you learn from the wins. Is that the worst or most painful loss that you've dealt with as a coach in the 20 years now that you've been, outside of playing football?
Yeah, it's certainly one of them. I mean, and you do along the way, you get a lot of scars and you learn from your scars. You learn from your wins, but you tend to, you learn from your scars. You don't want history to repeat itself and you want to do better and you want to learn from your mistake. Was that one of the hardest? Yeah, it definitely was. We let a lot of people down and we let ourselves down. And that was a game we surely were capable of winning. So that one was hard. But I know that Coach Day and that staff, they'll get it back going. And I know the fans will be really excited about that. And then for us here at Boston College, trust me, that will motivate me as well.
Well, I mean, you're now obviously in the ACC. You're going to be seeing them more frequently than Ohio State will. Have you found that there's any resistance around your team when you guys bring in like Ohio State players to talk to them? I mean, because it's smart of you to use people like Jordan Fuller and Jeffrey Okuda and use them as teaching tools, but obviously alumni and everyone always wants to go back and find guys that are from your program. But isn't it smarter or wiser to use every tool that you had available? Yeah,
use every tool. I mean, I want our alumni here at Boston College to talk to our team. I mean, that's first and foremost. I'm trying to bring the alumni back because there's a great tradition here. If you look, two of the players that are on the All-Century team or All-Decade team, whatever it was, they played here at Boston College. Our guys have done really, really well in the National Football League, and they will continue to do that. So I want to use that. But then certainly if I have a DB that wants to talk to Jeff Okuda or a safety that wants to talk to Jordan Fuller or Damon Arnett or Chase Young, I mean, I just want to win. And nothing matters more important to me than that. So I will use every resource that I can to help these players out. If they ask for help, I'll get it to them.
Two more things, and I'll let you get out of here. First, is there what's the reason, I guess, Buckeye fans fell in love with you, I guess, almost immediately from your first press conference in Columbus, and people were still a little bit, I guess, shocked when you ended up taking the job at BC. What made BC the right job for you?
Well, that's a good question, and I appreciate the Buckeye fans who were so good to me, and I appreciate everything that they did for me. They are amazing. BC was the fit for me for right now, and I mean that. The perfect fit for me right now. To me, I'm a Northeast guy. It's in the Northeast. It's a place where I felt really, really good about raising my family, and that's so, so important to me. The school to me it fits me. I'm allowed to do things the right way. There's no cheating. There's no cutting corners. You do things with great people. There's the religious element that's so important to me. And they value people. It's men and women for others. It's all the things that I believe in. Is it going to be a process? Yeah. Might it be hard? Yeah. But like I said, time and time again, when it's hard, it becomes real. And then when it's real, it lasts. And that's what I love about coaching football. And I really love about this place. There's amazing leadership from above. There's amazing people here. It is a huge sports town where we just need them to rally around us, and they will. And I'm excited for that. So that's why, people might have said, hey, he left after 1 year, but trust me, I looked hard into this. And I'm really excited to be here.
You have been a head coach for 6 months. You obviously had been in college football for a few years, back in 2007 to 2011, all those years at Pitt and stuff like that. What is the one or two things that as a head coach on the recruiting trail now that you would like to see addressed by the NCAA? Is there something that still kind of rubs you the wrong way, or a rule that you think needs touched up, or what would you change if you were in charge of recruiting rules in the NCAA?
I'm not sure. I'm still kind of feeling that all out. And I think maybe if you ask me that question 2 years from now, I'll have really good answers for you. But again, I kind of got back to it last year for the first time in 7-8 years. And then I just barely got on the road again to be here in the fall. So I still need to figure that out. Probably a good question to ask me the next time we talk down the road.
Well, look, I know you have a team meeting. I do appreciate you taking the time. I'm going to let you get out of here on that note. We'll talk again in 2 years, I guess.
No, you don't need me in 2 years. Anything you need. I'm always a big fan. You've always been awesome to me. So good luck to you and your family, and I appreciate your time.
Thanks, Coach. That's Jeff Hafley. I'm Jeremy Birmingham. This has been Birminology. We will catch you next time, folks. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe below to get the latest videos from Lettermen Row.
We got Letterman Live, we've got the practice report, we got rapid reaction. Hey, and we got Buck IQ with Zach Bourne.
For sure. We got recruiting breakdowns with Berm. We got whatever you need. Ohio State football and Ohio State athletics, we've got you covered here at Lettermen Row.